We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. It is a beautiful, glorious Friday in Lincoln, Nebraska. Lincoln, Nebraska, despite what a certain duck might think, still one of the 15 happiest cities in America. That has not changed. Remember me talking about that a year ago?
Yeah.
It was like all these California, Florida, all these, and then Lincoln, Nebraska. I think it was like 12th. It's still in the top 15. I haven't seen the exact number this year. But despite what a certain mountain climber who lives out in Eugene, does he climb mountains? Is that what he said?
He at least likes the nature.
All right. A lot of talent in that quarterback room. I think he's finding. Oh, come on, Jake. Why we got to start off the show like this? It's supposed to be a happy start to the show. Glorious. I really didn't intend to start that way. It just kind of took on a life of its own as I was talking.
It's been funny, though, because some people have been pretty offended by it, other people not at all. And, so there's a lot of different feelings about Mr. Dylan Raiola's the thoughts on Nebraska.
So it's interesting. We talked about it, I think, for 5 minutes. About 30 minutes after he said, and that's really been the extent we've talked about it. I've done a couple of national interviews, like Zach Gelb's a great dude. Like he knows Matt Rule from back in his Temple days, so he's got a close relationship there. Zach and I get along really, really well. I did a 30-minute interview. He got the Zach Gelb show on a national network. He does a phenomenal job. Go check it out. Like the first 15 minutes were about Dylan. And after the second time he asked me about it, I was like, if you want to move on, and I kind of gave my final thoughts, and then he just kept coming back to it. It's funny. Because to your point, some people get highly offended. Some people are like, it's a nothing burger. Why are we talking about this? But despite all of that, it is a glorious Friday here in Lincoln, Nebraska. One of the 15 happiest places in America to live. That's what the stats and the numbers and the facts have to say. Jared Crick, one of the all-time great defensive linemen, is going to be joining me at 12:30. Mr. Abdul Muhammad had something pop up, so he will be joining us in the future. But Lincoln Arneo will be talking some Nebraska volleyball at 1:30. So again, we have gone to 2 hours as of this past week, 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Grab your lunch, come join us. What you're going to get, unique insight, unbridled honesty, and producer Jake and I are going to have a whole lot of fun in the process. So we got some updates from Nebraska's camp, and I thought Dana Holgorsen had some interesting things to say. Talked about them we called them old. I even looked a couple of times. It wasn't older. He called them old. I was like, oh, age is relative, I guess. Wow, there was a movie I was watching one time, and it was like some rom-com, and the age gap was pretty wide between the people dating, and one of the kid found out of the woman. She was the younger of the two, and so this is like 20, 25 years ago. The name of the movie's escaping me, but the mom goes, oh, because the kid's like, how old are you? Mom, and whatever she says, 25, I don't remember. And well, how old is Jerry? Whatever his name was. Oh, he's like 55. Whoa. And the mom goes, age is just a number. And the kid goes, yeah, that's a really big number. So age is relative, I suppose. But said they were an old team. Older, I think is what he was really meaning. And it's easier. And he seemed pleased with quite a few things. Quinn Clark, as Tim Verghese kind of laid out yesterday, kind of starting to stand out a little bit in camp. His size, his speed, his height, some of the things that he can do. There was one thing that Holgorsen said he wasn't uber impressed with over June and July. And when said topics come up, I let Bad News Bach do his thing. No, I'm just kidding. Well, what did he say? It was about the tight ends. Now, if you look at the top 10 graded returning tight ends in the Big Ten, Luke Lindenmeyer is among them. So he's among the top 10 returning tight ends in the Big Ten when you look at a grade standpoint. When you think back to last year, especially as the year went along, I felt like our tight ends got the ball less and less and less. And there was not a lot of deep shots in general, but especially with the tight ends. But you want to delve into a little bit more about some of the things Holgorsen had to say pertaining to said topic?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You know, like you said, he's kind of laying that out there. And I think that's a group Nebraska fans feel pretty good about. So it was, you know, especially with Lindenmeyer be sending off the Big Ten Media Day, you think, okay, well, this is one of the leaders, obviously. You know, I thought that maybe he should have got the ball a little bit more, or just like naturally you would think he would, right? With a true freshman kind of taking over down the stretch. I always say a tight end is one of a young quarterback's best friends, but yeah, apparently wasn't all that impressed with that group. And you know, it's always interesting too is, you know, he comes off as a straight shooter, you know, so there's kind of different ways. It's like, are you trying to motivate the guys? You're trying to get a little bit more out of them. But one guy that he was really impressed again, and I don't know if I can call him. If you got a nickname, can we all call Janarian Bonner Wood? I think we can call him Wood. That's all they referred to him as. But was very excited about that. Just said, even described him as a safety blanket. So, you know, between him and Carter Nelson, you know, there seems to be kind of their own maybe position kind of brewing up there for them. So I don't know if that quite falls in line with the tight ends. But he seems to be pretty excited about those guys. So it's kind of an interesting read so far from that Holgorsen interview to kind of feel where that is, and especially where Bonner and Nelson kind of figure in the mix. They obviously seem to be somewhat of a hybrid tight end wide receivers.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think they've kind of formed their own little position group right there between Wood and Carter Nelson there. And like Bonner is the guy who's an upperclassman, a junior, but he's the guy I remember going into last year, kind of his own little hybrid position. And when you're trying to figure out how to get a guy as talented and now healthy as Carter Nelson on the field, when Nick Saban went to his 8-man football game, he said he's easily one of the most athletic guys he's seen out of all the guys he was recruiting a couple years ago. So Carter Nelson has that type of athleticism. Remember when they put him at running back on the goal line at Purdue and tried to have him jump over the line? A tight end, a true freshman tight end. Oh, yeah. That tells you what they think of his athleticism, his explosiveness, his hops, if you will. Okay. So for me, now that he's healthy, he's highly recruited, he's talented, he's athletic, he's been in the program a little bit. How do you try to get him into the mold? Well, you got a guy like Luke Lindenmeyer coming back. You got a true freshman, Luke Sorensen, emerging there as a tight end. Physically, he seems ready to go. You got a fairly loaded wide receiver room from Isaiah Hunter, Quasi Gilmore, Ja'Cory Barney, Quinn Clark, Cortez Mills. We haven't heard as much about Cortez. I'm hoping we start to hear more about him. That is a highly talented, highly touted dude that I want to see get more opportunities. All right, at least you got 3 rock solid starters here. But whether it be later in games or in rotational spots, or if somebody gets banged up, see him get some opportunities. Keelan Smith. All right, Nealon Smith's son, redshirt sophomore wide receiver, is a guy you want to see what he can do. But you look at Janarian Bonner, you look at Carter Nelson, and it's kind of like, man, if you're not a tight end, if you're not a wide receiver, but we're trying to figure out, I think they know how to use Bonner, but we're trying to figure out how to use Carter Nelson and his skill set and get him on the field. Like, hey, we'll just kind of make them their own little position there and get them on the field that way. And I'm very excited to see what he can do. I really am. Carter Nelson, I'm curious to see what it looks like with Janarian Bonner in the lineup. Holgorsen referenced him before he got hurt in camp last year, how it changed everything after he got hurt in camp last year, unfortunately. Going into this season, he's referenced him several times. We've never really been able to see the effect that he has on the offense because he's been called a safety net when he got hurt. Holgorsen said it changed everything. So what's it look like with him on the field? I can't wait to see it. And then how do you use Carter Nelson? These are two guys that are very, very intriguing to me because it's going to be a unique, dare I say, hybrid type role that doesn't really fall under wide receiver, tight end. The closest thing I've heard it called is a slot wide receiver. I just have this image in my head. I don't know. This is just what the image that pops in my head. Remember Harburg? He'd go in motion in the cutback blocks, and he would just destroy the end man on line of scrimmage because the whole offensive line would go like to the right. He'd be coming back to the left. He'd have the kick out block and just be this gigantic big hole that the running back would run through Emmett last year. For some reason, I have that image in my head. I have no idea if that's right. But that's just, I like when blockers destroy defenders. Well, as long as the blockers are wearing the N on the helmet. And I really enjoy that type of stuff. But I don't know. I know the nickname of Wood makes me think you lay the wood to somebody, something, in some way, shape, or form. We don't know what it looks like. And I'm curious to see what it looks like. And I'm excited. What say you, Jake?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting. I think we've kind of been through enough of the, hey, this is kind of the hybrid position. Remember the Duck R coming in with Scott Frost. So like I don't get as excited as I once did. Like, hey, this is some sort of hybrid. It's going to change the game. And we've seen more of this, right? Throughout football in general is kind of, putting your tight ends out wide and trying to create a mismatch out there. So, but it does, it allows for more versatile packages, especially, if you're going to, need to audible or, kind of throw defense off, have a guy come in motion and until you're saying, get lined up for a block or, run play action off of it. So it could be very challenging for the defense to get prepared for. But obviously with both those guys, I mean, Bonner, we've seen at least be productive here at Nebraska. Carter Nelson really kind of needs to take that next step, right? So now's the time. But between the two of them, it's already a pretty loaded wide receiver room. You just feel like there's enough threats outside. And again, it's always difficult. Some of these guys might not quite live up to what we think they will. Some of them might overshoot it. So I don't know which ones, are going to fall in that category. But, as we look at all these different positions, I think there's, enough depth at a lot of them that's what gives a lot of people confidence and why kind of the best roster, the Matt Rule era is kind of coming in out there. I think the wide receiver group or the pass catching group is probably the best depth position where we've seen flashes and legit production, and then still have some of the younger guys that expect to take that next step. So I do expect both both those guys to be a big part of this offense. But it might just be one spot for one of them. So we'll have to wait and see. But I am feeling like Calander's going to have no shortage of options when he's out there scrambling around.
So the word hybrid. That's not the word. That's not the part that gets me intrigued. We've heard the word hybrid. You hear it in basketball. You hear it in a lot of sports. Okay. You hear it in football, probably the most. In the 4-2-5 defense, they're going to have a bit of a hybrid player on defense. Or it's kind of like you need a guy who can rush the passer, who can tackle in space, and who can cover. Well, that's a hybrid. Like nobody was ever going to expect me to cover somebody one-on-one. I was not a hybrid. I was a defensive lineman. You know what I mean? So hybrids exist. The phrases that stick out to me. When he got hurt, it changed everything after he got hurt last year. That stuck out to me at the time. And this year, he's our safety net. Like that tells me there's more to it than just the hybrid position. And what does that look like? And if they're trying to fit Carter Nelson into that role as well, we've seen him more as a wide receiver in games than we have as a tight end. And he's obviously a little bit bigger than your typical wide receiver. So I could see why him and Bonner might fit that hybrid role. Now, do they feel that Carter's the safety net? Probably not yet. He hasn't really done much in a game yet. Got to be healthy. He's healthy now. We'll see what he can do. So I'm just curious to see how that plays out. What does that mean, safety net? What does that mean when he got hurt last year? It changed everything. I had to change everything about the offense. Not everything, but he said it changed everything. So to me, those are the phrases that kind of stick out to me. He also talked about, and we mentioned this, we're an old team. I think it means older and it's easier. In other words, things probably look cleaner. They probably look crisper. May not have to run the same play as many times over and over because you've already ran it a million times in previous practices, previous games, previous years because you got guys coming back, so they have the experience. Even Anthony Calandra has started a ton of games at multiple different schools now. So even though it's his first year here, he's a very experienced guy. I would imagine that the offense is running at a cleaner, crisper rate than it has probably in the past couple of years. He mentioned that he feels good about being able to threaten defenses deeper this year. The ball's over the top, which is something that's music to my ears. I just felt like we couldn't threaten a defense with any sort of big play last year. Screens, that was it. Which is ironic because 2 years ago, remember, they're not blocking on. We were so mad that they wouldn't block on screens. And last year was the screenplay to Emmett or the screen play to Isaiah Hunter. And here we are upset that can't be your only deep play, though. That's the problem. You can't rely on a pass that's like lateral or 3, 4, 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, relying on that to be your deep ball. But he said he likes the ability to throw the ball deep. This year, he feels more comfortable with it. And we've had multiple years where we've had talented wide receivers. I've dropped names previously. I'm not going to drop them again. Come in, all conference type dudes, guys who go to the combine and do things that most people don't do as far as testing, 40-yard dash, height, weight, size. But while they're here, you don't see it. And I've often pointed back to the quarterback. You go back to his first year. We had some pretty good wide receivers that year. I can't remember the last time we went into a year. Well, that might have been the biggest question mark year. Billy Kemp was probably our most well-known wide receiver. But I wonder what would have been different had we kept Casey Thompson. Instead, we went with Jeff Sims, and we saw how that looked. Had we kept Casey Thompson, how does that look passing-wise that year? Because we're the number 2 rush offense in the Big Ten in large part because Jeff really struggled. Harburg is a really dynamic, physical, strong runner. Even Purdy came in and ran for some big yards against Wisconsin specific. I didn't know he could run that well until that game, honestly. And so we were the number 2 rushing offense in the Big Ten, but the passing game really struggled. We struggled to protect the quarterback. We struggled to threaten teams vertically with either passes through the air or guys who could threaten them. So then the past couple seasons, we've had guys who could do that. But even with a different quarterback, I always wondered if Dylan was a little bit hesitant to throw too many interceptions or make that big mistake and be on the highlight reel and be talked about. So he played a little bit more conservatively. I don't know that for a fact, but he always played like a game manager to me. So we may have had talented wide receivers, but we never had quarterbacks who would threaten teams vertically through the air. So they never got the chance to display anything. Or maybe the wide receivers just didn't play that well. But I've always thought it was more than just the wide receivers. This year, you got a guy who'll throw it deep. You got a guy who'll take chances. Again, there's pluses and minuses to that, and I'm here for all of it. I'm here for the excitement. I'm here for the moxie. I'm here for all of it. But I think we're going to see more out of our wide receivers than we probably have. When's the last time? Trey Palmer. Is that the last time we had someone that we knew could take the top off a defense and vertically threaten someone?
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Lloyd here and there, but for the most part, yeah.
Consistently.
Yeah.
Jalen Lloyd had about 2 or 3 that year, and it was his true freshman year, so then he left. But it's been a while, man. What's that, about 2022, about 4 years, 4 seasons? I remember that Iowa game. That was great. That was awesome. Trey Palmer. And Casey Thompson, by the way, was throwing him the ball that game. So who knows how maybe that changes things if that decision goes differently, but that doesn't matter. That's in the past. I think this year we're going to see some different things. It's not about the ability to throw the ball deep. It's not about the willingness, because that's been the question mark the past 2 years. I think that's held us back. It's how do we do that while also not turn the ball over too much? You know what I mean? So what are your thoughts on some of the updates we're getting out of camp, some of the things we've heard from Holgorsen, some of the reports we're getting?
Well, I can't help but buy into it. I'm starting to drink a little bit of the Kool-Aid because you do start to think about it. It can be exciting. Now, you have to hope that offensive line obviously lives up because that's going to be the biggest thing with all these. But, you talk about now an offense that they feel like they could take shots. That gets you a little bit more excited. When the offensive coordinator is saying it, we know we're kind of talking about those weapons that they have and just the different things that you can do. With Tim Verghese coming on the other day, kind of talking about maybe kind of keeping a little bit line of scrimmage passing involved and, sucking the defense in and then all of a sudden kind of taking those shots. The run game, obviously, you hope can kind of pick up from there. You might not have Emmett Johnson's talent there, but if you have an offensive line and threats at wide receiver and a quarterback that can run, I mean, that's going to open up the running game a little bit. So you do, I can start to see the vision of this offense coming together. But, as usual, it's, all these parts are going to have to fit together. And then, a game plan that works and the athleticism that Nebraska has to maybe overwhelm, Bowling Green or even a Maryland isn't going to be the same against. Are you going to have a different game plan? Are you going to have to do something different when you go against the athletes of Oregon and Ohio State when, your talent on the field isn't going to overwhelm them? So it is going to be an interesting journey, an interesting ride to see where this offense goes. But it is interesting to get a little bit more excited, but especially that tight end kind of comment does kind of stick out to you is when they have guys or options to maybe do a little bit different from that tight end room. Because for what it's worth, and I don't know, I mean, it's worth something, I suppose. On the rosters, Janarian Bonner is still listed as a wide receiver, and Carter Nilsson is listed as a tight end. So we'll see if that comes to be. But I think for sure you've got a weapon in Luke Lindemeyer that you're not going to take off the field, a whole lot either. So it's good news. Like you're kind of saying, as you kind of go back through the years, especially the wide receiver unit, it's been one that's just been constant change. You have to bring in a new hope every year. And Quasi Gilmore's a nice addition, but he's not like the new hope, right? It doesn't all kind of land on him. So we might finally see some stability in that position.
A New Hope. That's the title of the very first Star Wars they ever made with Luke Skywalker. Luke. He was the New Hope. I actually just watched all 9 Star Wars movies with my kids.
Did you really? Oh my goodness!
This summer, it was phenomenal.
Did you start from the in order of what they're supposed to be, or did you do the in order in which they were made?
I did it in the order in which they were made. I got a 9-year-old, and in retrospect, I probably should have done the order of like chronological order as opposed to how they were. I kind of wanted to see the evolution of the graphics. Is that kind of what I really wanted to see? I think my 9-year-old mostly understood what was going on. I think, it's not chronological in how the movies were made, but when you said A New Hope, it made me think of Luke Skywalker. So I will say this, Luke Lindenmeyer is as dependable, again, one of the top 10 graded returning tight ends in the entire Big Ten. He's as dependable tight end as you're going to find in the entire Big Ten. The question is, can we get some of those big plays this year? Can we get, you don't have to have a ton. Can we get some? And then really a tight end is a quarterback's best friend, third and short, inside the red zone, short yardage goal line. Like that's when you, and when he's scrambling around, can he just throw it up to a big body and you just help him out with your big old body and go make a hard catch with defenders on you? That's when he can become Anthony Calandria's best friend. So I know I joke around about the Kool-Aid. And again, I want to have fun. I want to get excited. So I openly admit that. I like that you're coming around. I feel like we need to keep the bad news Bach thing that you play in the chamber just in case. But can I make you feel good? I've never made a guarantee about Nebraska football. I'm about to make a second one because I've already guaranteed the offensive line is going to be better this year. 0 guarantees in 12 years, going on year 13. I'm already going to make my second guarantee in just this season alone. The season hadn't even started. Remember what the first one is? That the offensive line is definitely going to be better.
Yeah.
I didn't say great or whatever. I said better. Okay. You want my second guarantee?
I do.
So while we're drinking Kool-Aid, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I guarantee that we're 3-0.
Ooh, big
going out on a limb right
down.
there. We better be 3-0. How about that? You can phrase it either way we want. We better be 3. I'm guaranteeing we're 3-0. Are you on board with that?
I am, but I with the outlier that like look out for Ohio. I think there is a lot of just, hey, this is a non-gun game, whatever, roll it out there. As well as I, you don't have to be the better team to win in week 1. I mean, it can be some learning and some growing pains just to get it through in week 1. And again, Ohio, new coach, but same kind of system, same kind of coaching tree. They've got a lot of the same coaches there, and they won 9 games last year and held Anthony Calandria to 10 points the last time he was on the field.
Play bad news, Bach. You're back. Just play it. Just play it. You got to have that thing on the ready 24/7. Is it?
I thought I did have it open, but there it goes. Here it is.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Bad news.
We couldn't even get through the first segment. Oh, man. Okay. So do you know what the spread is for the Ohio game?
I think it's like 20 plus points.
23.5.
Yeah.
I haven't double checked this since they came out about a week ago. It's the same spread for the Ohio State game, just in the opposite direction. 23.5. We're also a 10-point underdog to Iowa. Did you know that?
10 points?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that bad.
23.5 points, and we had to play bad news Bach.
All
right.
23.5. My goodness.
Ohio was pretty good last year, but they lost a lot of players.
Yeah.
I still think North Dakota is the toughest non-conference team we'll play. The one FCS team. I'm about to say no disrespect to Ohio and Bowling Green, but I'm basically pulling a Dylan Raiola because I don't know how that's not disrespect. I don't mean disrespect. I understand that it probably is. The thing about Holgorsen, when some guys speak, you've got to take it with a grain of salt. You've got to figure out what they're really trying to say. Or you got to try to figure out the reason why they're saying what they're saying, and can you actually trust what it is that they're saying? Are you following me with this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that feeling with Holgorsen. Now, he just comes across to me like a straight shooter. Otherwise, why say I haven't been impressed with the tight ends, but I like this, and this. And he doesn't give a clarifier. He doesn't do what I call the compliment sandwich. You say something really nice, what you really mean, and then you end it with something really nice. That's a compliment sandwich, okay? As a guy who does speeches for a living, I understand these things, okay? He doesn't do that. He just, bam, it is this or it is that. And so I tend to trust what he says more. Do you feel the same way?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't, like I said, you just don't. Oftentimes, you kind of get the coach speak from the coaches, right? And then you can just kind of feel through it. Okay, just kind of positive, nice, public statements. But yeah, I mean, he pretty much, and Matt Rule, for what it's worth, too. I mean, he came here with the attitude as well. I mean, I think they're both pretty straight shooters. I don't have much to lose. I'll just kind of tell it like it is.
Interesting. Do you think Holgerson might have a different approach if he was the head coach? Not that it would be drastically different, but maybe moderately different.
Yeah, he might dress it up a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, it's tough to tell. He definitely feels like the offensive coordinator. I do think he'd probably dress it up a little bit more.
He put a little bit more salad dressing on that salad, not just straight lettuce.
Yep.
Talking about sandwiches and salad dressings and salads. Well, salads. Welcome to the Adam Carriker Show. We're going to go to break. When we come back, one of the best defensive linemen to ever play at the University at Nebraska, Jared Crick, is going to join us. Don't go anywhere.
Looking for something different for lunch or dinner in Lincoln? Big 8 is now open at 1226 P Street, serving seafood boils and Asian cuisine. Get your hands messy with fresh, flavorful seafood boils. Hot, bold, and made to share. Or enjoy classic Chinese and Asian dishes, perfect for lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln.
Building a new home can be a challenge, a lot of big choices. With our Remington homes, we have designed 15 different floor plans that appeal to a wide range of people.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier.
People really enjoy being able to go to our website, which is remingtonlincoln.com, pick a plan, pick a price point, go through and build it yourself. You have a lot of options, whether you want granite, painted trim, wood floors, more stone, all options with our Remington homes. People do not want to be married to their house payment. You're able to get what you really want in a home for a great price with very limited stress. And that's what Remington homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier, furry friends.
In every city, every town, there's a Husker fan. You show up, you stand out no matter where the road takes you. And wherever Husker Nation goes, life doesn't slow down. That's why Emeritus makes dental and vision coverage simple. Quick quotes, affordable options, and nationwide access for fans everywhere. Choose the coverage that fits your journey. Emeritus, fulfilling life, fueled by Husker pride. Go to emeritus.com/Husker Dental for more information.
At Schwezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Build with us. Work safe, go home proud. We're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back, on and off the job site. If you're ready to be part of a company where your safety and success come first, visit Schwezo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com and apply today. Schwezo Construction, 40 years strong and still building the future.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SauterHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right, last time I'll mention this. Supreme Girls Tryouts, K through 8th grade, this Sunday, 12:30 to 2 p.m., Lincoln, Nebraska, Speedway. All right, Sports Complex, which is mostly a pickleball center now. I didn't know pickleball was that popular, but they're still keeping 2 of the basketball courts, so that's where we will be doing the tryouts. If you have a 5th grader to be who's interested, I am said coach of that team, so good luck. But if you're so inclined, it's Sunday, 12:30 to 2, Girls Club Basketball Tryouts, Speedway. All right. And again, I coach the 5th grade team, but it's K through 8th grade. At this time, let's bring on one of the best to ever do it here at the University of Nebraska, former first-team All-American, multiple-time All-Conference Award winner, holds the single-game record for sacks with 5 versus Baylor, 20 career sacks and all. Mr. Jared Crick. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, Adam. Thanks for having me.
Dude, I appreciate you joining me. You are coaching high school football these days, are you not?
That's correct.
Dude, how is that going for you?
It's a lot of fun. This will be my 2nd year, and last year when I kind of took the job, I didn't really know what to expect. I kind of just went in assuming that I knew all the things about everything because, I had a pretty decent professional career and I played football for a long time. And then you kind of realize coaching high school kids, it's a different animal altogether. So it's been a little bit of an adjustment, but a good adjustment. These kids, they work hard. They want it, and, they're coachable. So, I'm blessed to have a good batch. We had a good batch last year, and just one of them deals, you just take it day to day and you just try to get better at something and keep the kids having fun and the spirits high.
Dude, I chuckle because I've coached kids, oh my gosh, was it a decade and a half? Kindergarten all the way up through high school. And sometimes I think the kindergartners might be easier than the high schoolers, and sometimes I don't. But it's all good. It's all fun. What's you're coaching at Cozad High School? Is that correct? How'd you guys' season go last year?
We went 5-4, and it was one of them deals where we had 33 kids, which I think was probably the least amount of kids we had come out for football in a long time. It's just one of them deals. I think it's not just a deal in Cozad, but I think a lot of small towns in Nebraska are kind of seeing their numbers dwindle a little bit. So we're doing everything we can to try to get, kids back out for football, get them back doing hard things, building some character. And I think we're on a good path. So we're pretty young last year. We had 3 seniors. The rest had kind of been, all my starters essentially started, last year was their first year playing varsity altogether. So got a lot of experience going into this year. We're excited about, and I'm excited. I'm ready to get the season kicked off, get the ball rolled out there, and, start playing football again.
All right, obviously I want to talk some Husker football here in a second, but why do you think the numbers are down recently? Because they're kind of down across the board as far as numbers for high school football teams. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, man, it's hard to say really, because the population is in the school system. I mean, here and every other coach that I've talked to, they say they got big kids rolling through the halls. They got athletic kids rolling through the halls. And a big problem that I think that I'm seeing at least is a lot of kids are buying into the club sports, which, to each their own. But I think there's a lot of value to playing for your hometown, for your school, and competing with your, essentially your childhood friends, guys that you've grown up with since you were in, preschool in some cases. I think there's a lot of value to going out there and competing with those guys. So you're starting to see it a lot where, kids are from, Cozad area, the Dawson County area. They're, traveling to, Grand Island, Lincoln to go play club sports with, kids that are, probably pretty talented, but they really don't know them that well. So, just talking to the guys in college recruiting that I know, I mean, I don't think they're so ecstatic about the club stuff. I think they want to see kids compete with the guys they've grown up with and, with the talent that whatever that town has at the time. They just want to see these kids go out there and compete and do whatever they can to help their team win. So I think that's part of it. Another part, I think it's just a generation of, they grew up on iPads, video games, all the things. They didn't really go outside and roughhouse like our generation did. So a lot of external factors, but I don't know. I think I do see the younger kids that are in elementary right now. They're starting to do the thing again, and they're out for sports in droves. So hopefully this, elementary generation kind of brings back the, all the kids just go out for the sport, even if you don't play. Back in the day, you just went out to be part of the team, just to hang out with your brothers. So hopefully we get back to that mindset.
We had a kid, my senior high school year of baseball. His name was Ben. Never played baseball in his life. Not 1 second of baseball. He was an offensive lineman on the football team. And a majority of our baseball team played football together. And he goes, I'm going to come out my senior year. I'm like, Ben, have you ever played? He's like, nope. You ever played catch once? Ever hit a ball? Not in a game, off a tee once with my dad when I was 8. I was like, okay. So we talked to the varsity coach, Andy, and we're like, we just want him on the team. Now, we didn't have enough numbers. Like Standing Bear had like 90-plus kids going out. We didn't have that amount of number to make cuts. We always knew we would have a team, like a varsity, JV, freshman, and all that. But there was never enough to make cuts. And so Ben he was on the team the whole year, sat the bench, just had a blast. Like if you struck out, he's that bigger, jolly kid that would make you laugh, kept book. He finally got a hit the last game of the year. I don't even remember if we were winning or losing. We were like, we got to give Ben at a bat. It went about how you thought it would. But, man, he had a blast just like playing with us being on the same team and doing things together. So I get what you're saying with that. Let's talk a little bit of the big boy football here. Huskers. You look at the defensive line. All right, my man. That's probably the biggest question mark, maybe running backs. But as you look at the defensive line this year, from Cam Lenhart to Riley Van Poppel, Owen Stoudemire, Williams Winery, Kate Petschak, a lot of these guys, Jasir Whittington, Anthony Jones. Like, what kind of sticks out to you as we get ready for Nebraska's first game here in a few weeks?
Well, a lot of guys seem to have quite a bit of experience, and that always helps. But I don't know, man. I've gotten to the point where I've heard that we are going to be the most elite, outfit in the entire Big Ten, and it just never seems to come to fruition. So I'm not saying that they're not talented. They're not, doing the thing. They're not working hard, but it's just going to be one of them deals where they just got to prove it to me on Saturday before I really start to buy in again. I think that's probably, a lot of the case for a lot of people anymore. You're optimistic, and then they come out and they don't do as well as you thought they would. And you kind of get a little bit numb to it, I think. So, and I'll admit, I haven't really watched the Huskers very close with the whole NIL transfer portal. It's hard to invest in kids anymore. I mean, back in the day, you would watch a freshman and you essentially grow up in front of your eyes to where they were, becoming an all-conference player by their junior, senior year. Now, you get excited about a recruit coming in. He may be gone in 3 months. It's one of them deals where, okay, I just learned all about this kid, and he's not here. Once the season's over, or maybe even once, conference plays over, they're jetting out of town to go to the next destination. So the NIL's really ruined it for me. I'm sure that's the case for a lot of people too. But, I think the Van Poppel kid, is he a Nebraska kid originally, or is he out of state?
I believe he's Nebraska. Is that correct, Jake?
I think he's out of state.
No, Texas. My bad, Texas.
Okay, well, either way, I'm going to root for him this year because he's wearing the red. But, I'd like to see some more homegrown talent. I know the Terry kid, I think he's coming off a injury. I'd love to see him, just go out there and just ball out and represent the right way for the home state kids. So, It's I know they got some big name recruits coming in, so I'll be interested to see, who actually develops into a player and, who does it, and then they're gone in 4 or 5 months.
Man, Tyson, you're talking about Tyson Terry, dude, the kid from Omaha, won that state championship wrestling title with a torn ACL. Still blows my mind. By the way, Bach, do you think it's a good time to play Bad News Bach? Can we play that for somebody else? Does it have to only be to you?
I don't know. It's up to you.
I feel like this is an appropriate time for you to hop in with a question, though.
Well, of course, I just like to look back at some stats between you guys because Jared, I'm sure Adam's let you know before. He's
Never.
a half second
I did not tell
ahead
him
of
to bring this up. I did not tell him to bring this up. I promise.
But I'm trying to stick up for you, Jared. You got injured your senior year. How many more sacks do you think you might have had?
So
if
you're
you
turning heel on me. That's what you're doing. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, hard to tell. I feel like I probably, going into my senior year, one of the reasons I obviously wanted to come back was to try to get Trev's record. I wanted to be the all-time, sack leader leaving the school, and obviously it was just a rough senior year. I think from, it was early on. I think probably week 3, I was banged up. And, it was one of them deals, try to keep it under the radar so it wouldn't hurt the draft stock. And eventually just after a couple more weeks, my body just gave out and that was it. So I think I probably would have got a couple. That was the first year in the Big Ten. So we're looking at a little bit more run game than what we were in the Big 12 with the pass. So the opportunities probably weren't going to be there like they were in the Big 12. But I think, we played enough teams. I think I probably could have squeaked out a couple more sacks had I stayed healthy. I don't know if I would have got Trev's record by any means, or even would have gotten to the top 5. But I would like to think that I would have, given it my best shot. And, it's always a game of what if. But that's the way it goes. That's the game of football, right?
I remember that was early in the season. How many games did you get in your senior year before you ended up having to wrap it up a little bit that year?
Oh, I think, probably 5. Yeah. I think we played the first 3. I think I sat out week 4. I came back for Wisconsin, which was the first, and I don't think I was ready at all. That was a bad game for everybody, and I think I probably would have been better suited just sitting that one out too. But, you don't want to leave your teammates hanging, especially when you're the returning All-American. Like, you can't just not play in the biggest game of the year to that point. And then I think Ohio State, it was halftime, and I was done. That's when I had tore my pec, and I just had nothing left in the tank. And that was all she wrote for my career at Nebraska. But, no regrets. I got my degree, and I got another year with my brothers. And the money part of it, if I would have left early, there's always that. But money's not everything. So, I don't. That's a good question. I would love to, have a, I guess a crystal ball that would kind of, hey, if you would have stayed healthy, you would have got this. But unfortunately, I'm still half a sack behind you, man, and it'll be that way until they start allowing us old guys to come back and play.
Well, do we get a 5th year with this 5 for 5? Is that how that works, Jake? Just say no, because I'm just going to hurt myself.
And maybe it might happen, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sue?
Yeah,
everybody's suing the NCAA right now. Any other questions you'd like to ask to pit Jared and I against each other, Jake?
Well, not necessarily that, but I do think sometimes I want to give you a chance because on that line, obviously in 2009, there's 3 Huskers in there of the top 10 all time with Barry Turner and Ndamukong Suh for the sacks. When did you tell? Obviously, you could tell Sue was a different animal early. When did you tell that defensive line, that defense was something special?
Oh, well, I remember watching BT even when I was in high school. Adam could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think BT was actually playing a lot of, third down snaps when he was a true freshman maybe even.
Yep,
so
he was.
We always knew BT was going to be a stud. And then Pierre, he was kind of one of them dudes that he just needed an opportunity. So once he finally cracked the starting day or, the starting roster, he just flourished. And yeah, he had Sue, on his side as I had Sue right next to me. So obviously that helps us both out. But BT was one of them, Pierre was one of them dudes that wasn't scared of anybody. He was long, 6'6", had used his leverage to his advantage, used his length to his advantage. And, he made a lot of plays for us. So, it was a pleasure playing with those guys. Obviously, like you said, you knew Sue was going to be a monster. I knew Sue was a monster the day I walked on campus, just how much weight he threw around and how effortless it all was. And, I was fortunate to get with the group I did. I mean, that's kind of one of them deals where, throughout my entire career, I've been so fortunate to play with a lot of Hall of Fame type dudes, not only Sue at Nebraska, but I played with J.J. Watt in the league. I played with DeMarcus Ware in the league, Vince Wilfork. I mean, I've seen a lot of greatness, and that's something that, as a high school football coach, I can tell stories about all these guys, and hopefully it resonates with these young bucks to realize how much work it actually takes to be great in this game. So, that was awesome playing with those guys. And even after those guys left, I had Baker Steinkooler and, Terrence Moore. I had a lot of fun with my fellow defensive linemen.
How many sacks did BT end up with for his career there, Jake?
He's number 10 right now at 17 sacks.
Because Jared's right. I think it was my senior year. It was his true freshman year. And he came in on nickel, and by the end of the year, I think he had 6 sacks. I'd have to go confirm that his freshman year. He was a freshman All-American, and you knew he was going to go on to do some big things there. And actually, Pierre's first year was my senior year. And he was, when he got there, our D-line coach goes, that's a basketball player that's just starting to play football. Like, he'd only played football his senior year of high school. I remember one of the first drills we did in camp was the ladder drill. He couldn't do it right. So we kept having to start over, and I was getting it's hot. It's our 5th day in pads, our 8th day of camp. I got pissed to the poor guy. But, dude, he's still in Lincoln. Like, his wife coaches soccer with my wife, so it's cool that he hangs around. I get to see him from time to time. One question for you. One last question for you. Did you play your whole sophomore year, Jared? Did you?
Yes. Yep.
Are you ever going to point out that I only played 3 games my sophomore year?
Okay. No, I didn't do that. Yeah.
All right. I appreciate you taking the time, and good luck this football season. Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, we appreciate the gang. Thank you.
All right. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Hog Wild's giant stuffed baked potatoes are anything but basic and really hit the spot when you're craving a little comfort food. Nothing is more satisfying than a Hog Wild baked potato loaded with butter, sour cream, cheddar cheese, bacon bits, and chives. Add your choice of a Hog Wild house smoked meat like pulled pork, chicken, or brisket for a little extra. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Looking for something different for lunch or dinner in Lincoln? Big 8 is now open at 1226 P Street, serving seafood boils and Asian cuisine. Get your hands messy with fresh, flavorful seafood boils. Hot, bold, and made to share. Or enjoy classic Chinese and Asian dishes, perfect for lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Where there's smoke, there's flavor, and there's plenty of that at the Smokehouse at Super Saver in Russ's Market. Award-winning Old World recipes made in Lincoln since 1984 with many flavors and smoked sausage and brats to choose from. The Smokehouse has something special for every season: brats and sausage for the grill, beef sticks and beef jerky for snacking, and smoked salmon, smoked turkey, and smoked hams for your holiday feast. Stop by the Smokehouse at Super Saver in Russ's Market today to fulfill your search for real flavor.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Ever look at your house and think, ouch, it's stuck in the past? Or realize that your kitchen needs a new everything? Like thousands of homeowners, you can simply call SprayNet Lincoln. Their patented spray system and paint delivers a flawless factory finish. No mess, done in a day, and cost effective. It looks just like new, including your vinyl. And it's all backed by their 15-year no-peel warranty. SprayNet Lincoln, custom chemistry and smarter painting. Google SprayNet Lincoln or call them now at 402-383-3336 or email ching@spray-net.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built upon hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with room for advancement.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Where there's smoke, there's flavor, and there's plenty of that at the Smokehouse at Super Saver in Russ's Market. Award-winning old world recipes made in Lincoln since 1984 with many flavors and smoked sausage and brats to choose from. The Smokehouse has something special for every season: brats and sausage for the grill, beef sticks and beef jerky for snacking, and smoked salmon, smoked turkey, and smoked hams for your holiday feast. Stop by the Smokehouse at Super Saver in Russ's Market today to fulfill your search for real flavor.
In every city, every town, there's a Husker fan. You show up, you stand out no matter where the road takes you. And wherever Husker Nation goes, life doesn't slow down. That's why Emeritus makes dental and vision coverage simple. Quick quotes, affordable options, and nationwide access for fans everywhere. Choose the coverage that fits your journey. Emeritus, fulfilling life, fueled by Husker pride. Go to emeritus.com/Husker Dental for more information.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. I can't believe I forgot to ask Jake. So about 3 years ago, and Jake remembers this, I interviewed Jared, and I said, is there anybody on the D-line who's flying under the radar right now that we should keep our eyes on? And what name did he drop? And he goes, this guy looks like a potential first-round talent. What name did he drop?
James Williams.
The guy, dude, Jared Crick has an eye for talent. I don't know about actions, but he's got an eye for talent. James Williams has got some talent, yeah?
Yeah. That year he went on to get, 4 sacks?
Well, that doesn't sound as good.
Well, okay. I was going to say he went on to partially lead the team in sacks.
Oh.
Or be among them.
That's better and worse at the same time. Okay. We got 2 Signetti clips, and anytime you got Signetti clips, you just got to play them. The first one, let's just say he was ready to get back coaching. Go ahead and roll it, and we'll have some fun.
I'm really excited. I've been on vacation long enough. You know, I'm tired of being bossed around by my wife. I'm ready to boss somebody else around and develop a football team. And it's all about development. Okay, player development, team development, positional development, and developing the intangibles, the mindset, and the identity of your football team.
I got to be honest, I forgot about the development part. I was so busy laughing at the getting bossed. Can you relate at all, getting bossed around by your wife?
My wife's pretty nice, so not most of the time not.
Wise choice, wise decision. That's a business decision on there. You just wise decision right there. My wife's in Iowa with my daughter, and she's not listening to this, so I'm going to talk about the development. It is about development, ladies and gentlemen. All right, roll the next clip. I believe this is something about Big Ten versus SEC. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is from Big Ten Media Day.
All right, go ahead and roll.
The Big Ten is the best league in football. And a lot of really good football teams. It's hard to win on the road. Very physical football teams, very well coached. It definitely prepares you for the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. The numbers speak for themselves. I mean, we don't run a hype machine up here in the Midwest. We believe everything's earned, not given. And when we fall short, we say we fell short. We don't cry a river, whine, and complain. All right? And that's why we're the best.
Yeah, that's the clip that went viral, and justifiably so. So do you know who Laura Rutledge is on ESPN?
Yeah.
And the SEC network?
Absolutely.
Well, what's the difference between the SEC network and the ESPN network? Do you know? I don't either. Anyways, Laura actually does a great job. But this is one of the most asinine takes, not Asa 7, not Asa 8. One of the most asinine takes I've heard in the wild. I actually had the clip ready to send to you, and I was like, yeah. So we're not going to play the clip. She basically says that the SEC playing a 9-game schedule, they beat themselves up every year, and that's why they haven't done good in the playoffs. Do you know the big problem with that, with her statement? What's the big problem there, Jake?
I don't know.
They've never played a 9-game schedule yet.
Oh, there you go.
I'm sorry, what? You're beat up from the 9-game schedule you have not yet played, and that's why you've had all these bad losses. 0-4 in the Big Ten versus the Big Ten the past 2 years of college football playoff. And I'm going to say it again. They have 0 wins versus other Power 4 conference teams in last year's playoffs specifically. The only Power Conference teams they beat were themselves. Ole Miss over Georgia, Alabama over Oklahoma. They lost the rest. They did beat Tulane, but I'm talking Power 4 here. And I'm listening to her. I'm like, you are way too good at your job to make that big of a silly mistake. Like, the SEC hype machine and excuse-making machine is real. They're complaining about a 9-game schedule beating them up, and that's why they've lost all these playoff games when they've never – so are they beat up from the 8-game schedule that they played?
Oh, they'll definitely argue that.
Well, they did argue that. Are they beat up from the extra bye week they get every year before rivalry weekend, their 4th game where they just stick some Piedmont U team they play? Occidental U. It's a real university. I had a guy from high school when played at Occidental. He got kicked off the team. He was nuts. But that's a true story. All of that's true, by the way. Hi, Tom. I know you don't listen to the show. But my point is simply this. Like, the hype machine, the excuse-making machine is real. It is real. And then there were some people in the comments who were like, oh, well, the SEC runner-up got curb stomped in week 1 by 14 points by the team that finished 5th in the ACC. You know, Florida State, Alabama. Was Alabama beat up from fall camp when they played Florida State? I don't know. Did you see those comments?
No.
Oh, they were great. You got anything to add?
No. I mean, it is the first year of the 9-game schedule, so that'll be interesting. But you just love Kurt Signetti taking shots while he can.
Oh, dude, he's earned the right to say whatever he wants. Whatever he wants. I'm sorry. I was going to harken back to Purdue's AD from yesterday. We're going to let it lie. So Jake is heading home early for the weekend. You're going to lie on the couch, play some video games. What are you doing for the next hour?
No, actually go set up for BP with DP here at Haymarket Park. So that'll be exciting. We'll have Bach in the black shirt and one-on-one with DP out there while some of our listeners are taking some swings.
Is that the Bach hype machine and excuse machine, or is that real?
That's real.
It's real, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just giving him a hard time. Is Rudy going to join me for hour 2?
I believe so. Rudy up next.
All right, when we come back, I'll be here. Rudy will be joining me. Don't go anywhere for hour 2. We'll be right back.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
In every city, every town, there's a Husker fan. You show up, you stand out no matter where the road takes you. And wherever Husker Nation goes, life doesn't slow down. That's why Emeritus makes dental and vision coverage simple. Quick quotes, affordable options, and nationwide access for fans everywhere. Choose the coverage that fits your journey. Emeritus, fulfilling life, fueled by Husker pride. Go to emeritus.com/Husker Dental for more information.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Ever look at your house and think, ouch, it's stuck in the past? Or realize that your kitchen needs a new everything? Like thousands of homeowners, you can simply call SprayNet Lincoln. Their patented spray system and paint delivers a flawless factory finish, no mess, done in a day, and cost-effective. It looks just like new, including your vinyl. And it's all backed by their 15-year no-peel warranty. SprayNet Lincoln, custom chemistry and smarter painting. Google SprayNet Lincoln or call them now at 402-383-3336 or email ching@spray-net.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built upon hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with room for advancement.
Hey, this is Jay Foreman, the host of Old School here at 93.7 The Ticket. And one of my favorite things to do is come down and meet all the fans before and after as they cheer on our beloved Huskers.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Where there's smoke, there's flavor, and there's plenty of that at the Smokehouse at Super Saver in Russ's Market. Award-winning, old-world recipes made in Lincoln since 1984 with many flavors and smoked sausage and brats to choose from. The Smokehouse has something special for every season. Brats and sausage for the grill, beef sticks and beef jerky for snacking, and smoked salmon, smoked turkey, and smoked hams for your holiday feast. Stop by the Smokehouse at Super Saver in Russ's Market today to fulfill your search for real flavor.
You plan everything, the schedules, the meals, the activities. But at the Nebraska State Fair, you don't have to plan a thing. Baby animals, fair food, rides, free entertainment, and 11 days of memories your kids will never forget. You just have to show up. It all happens here at the Nebraska State Fair, August 28th through September 7th in Grand Island. Visit statefair.org.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Alas, it is not Rudy joining me. It is Harrison. Harrison, you and I spent a couple of glorious weeks together in the summer. How you been, my friend?
Doing absolutely fantastic there, Carriker. Things are fun. Football's around the corner. Man, this job's just that much sweeter.
Oh, I know.
When you're heading into fall, it just makes everything. It makes the world go round, you could say.
Dude, I can't believe we get paid to do this. We get paid to watch and talk about sports.
I know. I say that point a lot, but I feel like I have to because I make a paycheck. They like the day when it's hot out and I get to come in here, hang out with Carriker, and then other days I'm gonna be hanging out with Grant, Wistrom, Jason, Peter, and I'm collecting a paycheck at the end of all that. Like, I'm not complaining. So I love this gig quite a bit. When football's around the corner, it only gets better.
Dude, I hope one of my life goals is to never have a real job. I played sports for a living. I get to talk and watch sports for a living. I always liked Peter Pan. Like, I was never a big Spider-Man or Aquaman or whatever the man's, Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
I was always Peter Pan because I never wanted to grow up. And so far, I'm living out my childhood dream of never having to grow up, my friend.
You never had a nasty high school job like construction? I did tree service. That one was brutal.
I did. I always had an internship every summer at Nebraska. My first one, I'm going to be honest, was a joke, but the rest were for real. The rest were for real. And one time, I think it's the first summer I went back home. Yeah, I think I had a construction job, but it's just, that wasn't even a job. They were redoing the mall. And I was there during the 2, 3, 4 weeks that they were destroying everything. I just destroyed everything. That's still not a real job.
Yeah, no, you could do. I would do that for free. Give me a sledgehammer.
I still never had a real job. I will say this, and I remember this plain as day. I was walking, on a bunch of broken stuff, and I stepped right on a nail. And so I called my mom. I'm like, all right, Mom, when was my last tetanus shot? Yada, yada, yada. She looks it up. She was a nurse too. So she's like, you're good to go. I hang up the phone. 90 seconds later, I stepped on another nail. So I call my mom. I'm like, am I still covered? She's like, yes. Would you stop stepping on nails? With a few other lovely words. It wasn't swear words, but it was like, come on, can you look? And so I did not step on any. Actually, it's the last time I've ever stepped on a nail, but my mom was like so frustrated with me, and justifiably so. All right, my man, we got some clips we're going to roll through here. And again, we're going to be joined at 1:30 by Lincoln Arneal. We actually got a clip. There are people out there who believe that Nebraska may or may not be set up to win 2 national championships in a row in volleyball. We'll get there when we get there. Let's cross that bridge. We got about 20 minutes before we get to that point in that clip. But let's start with Matt Rule talking about returning production. Go ahead, Harrison.
I don't know what the numbers are. Like last year, we were first or second youngest team in the Big Ten, right? So that team needs what? They need the weight room. They need, the off-season program. This is a veteran team. I think they said on that thing, they said third most experience returning the FBS. I thought it was Big Ten. They said FBS. So, do they need as much of that, or do they need more like running our plays, our systems? So we went that way, and it's not like a change because they don't know. It's just because this is what this team needs, right? So they need more plays. They need more plays together. So we went more that way. When I think back to my first year, obviously we were a great team, but every game down the stretch that we bat, it was 3 points to Maryland, right? It was 3 points to Iowa. They showed up every week. So I don't think it's a toughness thing. I don't think it's a mental thing. I think it's just being good enough to win this game. Hey, we got to go make these plays and win these games. And the key is when the players say to themselves, all right, I'm going to go I see the ball, he's thrown, I hesitate and try to knock it down, or I go pick it off right back for a touchdown. It's just the confidence of veteran players going out there and playing with great confidence. And so I wanted them to get a ton of reps together. And, coaches go away in July. I talked to the players about the seniors at Philly. They're like, oh, Coach, OTAs went great this week. I'm like, I didn't ask you guys to do OTAs, but the guys that want to win are doing it and taking it seriously. And now we'll do it again. See what happens.
By the way, OTAs is an NFL term. I'd never heard that until I got to the NFL, organized team activity. So the fact that they're doing that in the college, that's obviously something they're choosing to do on their own, to his point. Just so people know, the numbers are Notre Dame. Well, Nebraska was the youngest team in the Big Ten last year. Michigan slightly a little bit older. They were clearly the 2 youngest teams. This year, Notre Dame, 72% returning production, the most in the country. Maryland at number 2. Nebraska, 69% returning production at number 3. Vatek right behind them. So there's a lot of returning production that's coming back. The point he makes about hesitation and confidence is huge. There's a big difference between thinking and playing and reacting and playing. When you're unsure or you're learning or you haven't done something before or you're just a young player, there's a lot of thinking and playing. And that's not a gigantic difference in the scope of time. Like, it's not like it takes you 5 seconds if you're learning something versus 1. It's like it takes you 1.5 seconds versus 1. And that half a second is all the difference in the world at the level that they're playing at. So he makes a great point. A lack of hesitation comes from confidence, comes from reps, comes from experience. Now, when you haven't had the greatest amount of quality production to this point, what does returning production mean? And that's kind of where I want to get your take on this, Harrison.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that confidence. Like, when you start thinking, the best way I can put it is like, you remember like the special teams fiascos. With Division I athletes know how to catch a punt. Guys were just overthinking it like crazy because it was in their head. We keep screwing this up. I can't be the guy to screw this up. Lack of confidence, overthinking, lack of execution. You do need those leaders to step up in there and just feel comfortable in the role. He mentioned the interception. You know, are you going to sit there and hesitate, think about it? Or are you going to trust your abilities and just go make the plays? And the OTAs makes you feel better because that, hopefully, when you're working with your team, you're getting that offense understanding, you're getting those team workouts together, you're eliminating that thinking process where it just becomes second nature. So that's the hope, is that if those guys are really putting in that work in the offseason, okay, now when the game starts up, they're not just sitting there constantly thinking. If they see the opportunity, go make the play. But I do think Matt Rule, to a point, is right. You know, maybe it's not the toughness. It's just we got to go make a big play every now and then. The guys aren't tough. It's not like they don't want to win. It's just for whatever reason we're overthinking at times because maybe they want to win so bad and it's almost freezing them up. So I do like that line of Matt Rule of acknowledging it, but at the same time, I agree with him. You just got to go have the confidence to go make the play. We have guys in the room, Division I athletes, that are maybe not better than Ohio State, but certainly better than the Marylands, Northwesterns of the world, where you should be able to take advantage of that lack of skill.
You ever heard the phrase, don't be afraid of greatness?
Yeah.
My true freshman year, Fabian Washington was in my class. And he said that all the time. And at the time, it didn't make any sense to me. Like, well, who would be afraid of being great? When the scale gets bigger and the eyeballs become more numerous and there's more scrutiny and there's more attention and there's more, no matter what you do, it's going to be talked about to the nth degree afterwards. Some people will have that little bit of hesitation. They'll react, and whatever would take them normally a second or a split second, all of a sudden takes them 1.5. And it's not that you don't want to be great, but there's that slight hesitation could be the difference between a PBU and a catch, or a PBU and an interception. And a catch for a first down versus a pick six, I mean, I don't have to explain how ginormous that is. And that phrase didn't make sense to me in the beginning, but over time, as I started to step out in front of 85,000 people every Saturday, it started to make more sense to me. This can become very intimidating. And you mess up. At the time, you were going to be on Sports Center's highlight top 10, and you're going to be talked about around this. But if you make the great play, don't be afraid to be great. And so that was something that confused me at first. And Fabian played as a true freshman. I think he even started as a true freshman. I didn't start till I redshirted, then redshirt freshman and sophomore. So it took me a little bit longer to get to that point. By the time I was a junior, I fully understood what the heck he was talking about. It made so much sense to me. So I understand that the individual, with the example I'm about to give, don't become detoured from the point by the individual. Because when Scott Frost first got here, all right, don't tune out just because I said Scott Frost. Like, I'm trying to say the point he made sense. I know the execution over time while he was coaching didn't quite add up, but the idea was there. Scott Frost, when he first got here, he had the no fear of failure thing. Do you remember that? Okay, no fear of failure. And the exact example he gave was when he was a safety with the Jets. And I forget all the specifics. But he had a coach that basically, made him kind of scared to mess up. And whatever, I forget the details of what that looked like and how that all played out. But there was a specific play where Scott could see what was going to happen as a safety, and he could have picked the ball off, but he was a bit hesitant, and the guy ended up catching it for a first down. And I forget if he got cut the next day or how that all played out, but that's kind of where his no fear of failure thing came from. Now, obviously, things didn't work out coaching-wise. That's not the point. My point is, don't be afraid of greatness, no fear of failure, like the split seconds. Like this, football is not a game of inches, it's a game of millimeters. It's not a game of seconds, it's a game of milliseconds. And to Rule's point, that experience and that confidence versus that slight hesitation can be all the difference in the world.
Well, I'm sure you heard this in school too, but that fear of failure is a real thing. Of certain kids would, in school, they'd get by, but they'd be like, well, I'm not really trying that much. Yes. Like, I'm smart, yes, but I'm just not really trying. Well,
Yep.
First of all, why not? But then if you do try and say you're still not maybe hitting great scores, well, then you maybe have to admit something to yourself. Well, maybe I'm not as smart as I initially thought I was, and I have to work up into that. I'm not this natural genius that I thought. And the same thing applies everywhere in life. As soon as you state, certain things out there, you have to live up to them. And you can't, to Frost's point, you can't be afraid to fail. If you do fail, it doesn't mean it's the end game. It just means, all right, we got more work to do. And I think that's that fear of failure. You see it in everywhere. You can see it in football, but like I always think of that when it comes to school, because that was I hear kids probably today still say that all the time. Well, I'm not really trying. If you try and you still don't have, well, then that's where that fear of failure comes in, which is fine. You can't be afraid to fail. It just means you got to keep working up to it.
It's a built-in excuse.
It is. It's exactly what that is.
I didn't fail because I couldn't do it. I didn't work out because I wasn't trying. It's a built-in excuse. Faf. You ever watch Family Matters, Steve Urkel? Did I do that?
I've caught it in bits and pieces, yeah. I know that I do that line very well, though.
That was the first time I'd ever heard of Faf, fear of failure. And it's always stuck with me. However, whenever I watched that, like 20, 30 years ago. But yeah, it's a very real thing. And keep in mind, when you talk about Frost, remember, he understands pressure situations. They won the national championship. So he knows what it's like to fail and to succeed to varying degrees in multiple things. So I thought that was a great point by Matt Rule. And when you think about just the milliseconds that it takes and the difference between a hesitation and being scared, or a hesitation and non-hesitation versus a non-hesitation and being confident, and the milliseconds and the difference that can make between getting a sack as a D lineman, between getting a pick as a DB, between making a catch as a wide receiver, between getting the ball off on time under pressure with all the eyeballs under God's hot sun watching you as a quarterback, or holding it on to a split second and all of a sudden you get sacked. So
I want to read this one from Kip. I really want your thoughts on it.
Go ahead.
So Kip chimes in here with a good point. Hesitation leads to devastation. There's a thin line between confidence and arrogance, and you need to tread that line as close as you can to be good. What are your thoughts on treading that line between confidence and arrogance?
I think this has nothing to do with sports. It has to do with confidence in general. Somebody explained confidence to me one time, and it always stuck with me. Confidence isn't walking into a room and thinking you're better than everyone else. Confidence is walking into a room and not feeling the need to compare yourself to anyone else. And so you know who you are. You know what you're about. You know what you can do. And like, you hope the guy next to you is great. You hope he's phenomenal. But if you go one-on-one, you just believe you're going to win. It's not putting someone else down. It's the belief that you can elevate yourself. And if you're not where you want to be yet, you can get better and get to that point. So to me, that was the best definition of confidence that I'd ever heard, or example
that's a great
I'd ever
definition
heard.
of it. Yeah.
Anything else, or we can go to the Calandria clip there?
We can go to the Calandria. We got how is this team not a question mark? I'm assuming that was a point with you and Bach earlier. But if you guys want to join in and get some more thoughts in here, 402-464-5685. We do have this one that was busting with the boys. Anthony Calandria, the next Trinidad Chambliss.
As Nebraska fans, we have to remember where we were pre-Matt Rule, and it was no bowl games in over a decade. So yeah, it's not going exactly like you want it to. Usually Matt Rule has that 9, 10, 11 win season in year 3. Per Will Compton's point, this is a great spin zone for my boy Willie C. They changed the uniforms this year.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. Forget
they changed the uniforms this year. Yeah. So we're officially back in year 1 of Matt Rule. And you brought up Calandria. We kind of went by it a little bit. You said it might be a better fit for the offense. I like this kid's moxie.
Do you think there's any point in the preseason this year, or even the regular season, where the comparison gets made between him and Trinidad Chambliss' situation last year, where a guy just comes out of nowhere and ends up being the guy who rescues your program and makes you forget all about the guy who was supposed to be the starter?
You think Calandria has the potential to be a Trinidad Chambliss this year?
I've never needed to be clearer. No.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, if they were to just body bag Ohio, and they are prioritizing building his confidence against Ohio, Bowling Green, and North Dakota, you're telling me you couldn't see him go 31 of 46 in one of those games for 385, 4 touchdowns, and the message boards light up? Guys, we may have a trend on our hands. We have a Trinidad 2.0 on our hands.
So I could see that happening. I don't know that you'd hear it a ton from Nebraska fans until after the 5th game. I think Nebraska fans are in large part waiting to see what happens that 6th game.
Yeah.
And down the stretch in that old month called November. But I could see it happening, especially like there are national pundits who want Nebraska to be bad just because they want to hate on us. There are some who want us to be good because they know there's eyeballs there that right now aren't paying attention to what they say. And if they start talking about a winning Nebraska team, they're going to get a bunch more eyeballs. It's a business thing. I get that. It's interesting because when you think about what Trinidad did last year. For those who don't know, transferred from a small school, was going to be the backup at Ole Miss. The starter goes down. He becomes the starter and then just sets the world on fire. He was the difference when they played Georgia. Not a difference. He was the difference in that game, in the playoff game that got them to the Final Four after they beat Georgia. When you think about Anthony Colandrea, if he starts to do something similar, okay, comes from a smaller school, not as small like Trinidad schools and FCS school, but a smaller school, originally was not the guy we had. It was Kenny Minchie. Now, Colandrea is going to start the season as a starter, but it was supposed to be someone else. And if he starts to do certain things, I could see certain people making comparisons. What do you think?
Certainly. To your point, though, it's going to take some time.
Yes.
Like, we're going to have to get late in the season before we can really start having those full-on comparisons. I am very curious to see what version of Anthony Colandrea rolls out this year. If he can kind of live up to, I think the tone switched. I think people are starting to get hyped around this kid simply for the way he acts.
Yes.
And the juice, quote unquote. And, him keeping it short at the podium is actually gaining him more fans than if he went on these long rants, because people just they like it. It's short, sweet. He's not talking extra. He just seems like a guy who wants to go out there and play football. You're getting the talk from the teammates. He is building off the field so far a brand that Nebraska fans can identify with. Not a lot of talk, just go out there and do it. And for a program that's had a lot of people that talk a lot, it's refreshing. And I think the whole team this year is almost kind of taken on that motto. And, we'll see what that quote unquote juice looks like on the field. But when you're a program, and let's be honest, Carriker, at Big Ten Media Days, we weren't the story. We weren't maybe in the top 10. We weren't maybe in the top 15 stories. It's good to have a guy like Anthony Colandrea who can bring a little bit of excitement, and hopefully that rubs off on the team and just create some buzz around this program and get the fans engaged into it, and also get his teammates to believe in this program. I think that's the part with Colandrea, to where if that lives up to it and he's able to kind of get this, not only the fan base, but the team behind him, and show some of that explosive plays where he, not all the time, but in the few times he needs, if something breaks down and he can figure out a way to get it done, maybe we can have those comparisons. But it's going to take till game 7, maybe game 8, and then we can really start to have it. But I've been impressed with everything he said so far. I got to see if it matches up to the field. I think that's absolutely fair to have those comparisons if it lives up to it.
Your point about Big Ten Media Days, podium time, just pure podium time. You know which coach, which school had the coach at the podium the longest?
Minnesota.
No. That's a great guess. Northwestern.
Okay.
Their new coach. Number 2 is Kurt Cignetti.
Okay.
So 15 minutes for Northwestern. Cignetti was 14. You know which school had their coach at the podium the second least longest?
I'm assuming Nebraska.
It was Matt Rule, 11 minutes.
I was going to say.
And I think, if I remember correctly, the least was just like 10 minutes and 50 seconds was Purdue. Now, their AD hadn't been hired yet, or he would have been up there for 20 minutes, and it would have been very entertaining. But yeah, to your point, we were not the story. And I was okay with that. As far as Colandrea's juice, so all offseason, I have been saying this kid is going to electrify Memorial Stadium. He's also at times probably going to frustrate you, make you pull your hair out, and I'm here for all of it. He's going to galvanize the fan base because of the way he approaches things. Matt Rule and Dana Holgorsen knew he was their quarterback from just the way he conversed with the people when he was visiting here, and just the way he walked around the field and shook everyone's hand when he got out of the car. The way he approaches things is why I've said he's going to electrify us at times, frustrate us at times, and I'm here for every single second of it. As far as the question off the text line, how is this team not a question mark? This team is a question mark. But that's too long of a topic to cover in just a few minutes. We're kind of diatribing that each show as we go along. We're taking basically different question marks and chatting about them each day that Harrison or Bach and I do the show. So,
well, if you want to buy some hype real quick before we go to break here, Gus Mohawk, I have an opinion Anthony Colandrea will be the next great former Mountain West quarterback. You'd be surprised how many great QBs come out of that league. Diego Pavia, Jordan Love, Alex Smith, Derek Carr, etc.
Randall Cunningham.
From
nice. UNLV, actually. Yeah. So, okay, we do have a volleyball clip. We're bringing on Lincoln Arniel after the break. And I've got a clip that I found and I sent in, and I want to play it We will probably just play the clip, go directly into break, come back, and then I want to ask Lincoln Arniel about it. Go ahead, Harrison.
The NCAA just handed Nebraska volleyball 2 national championships. Last week, the NCAA approved a new 5-year eligibility window that kicks in the moment an athlete turns 19 or enrolls in college. Harper Murray, Andy Jackson, Bergen Riley, and Laney Choboy are all about to start year 4 in Lincoln. And under the old rules, this was supposed to be their last ride. But under the new rules, all 4 can come back for a 5th year. Nebraska, they've committed millions of program dollars to volleyball, and stars like Murray and Riley already have NIL deals with Adidas and Red Bull. And for a college volleyball player staying in Lincoln, that pays better than any pro league. So the odds that all 4 run it back, I think they're quite high, which means Nebraska should be the heavy favorite until 2028. But here's the catch that nobody is talking about. Head coach Danny Busboom Kelly has never lost a single player to the transfer portal. That streak is about to get tested because every freshman who signed thinking they'd start in 2027, they just got their timeline pushed back an entire year. In the old system, the torch got passed on schedule. However, in the new one, everyone stays for an extra year. For fans, this is the closest thing to a guaranteed title window that we may have ever seen in college volleyball. The real question is whether the wave of Huskers that are coming next, are they willing to wait their turn, or whether Nebraska's short-term dominance sets up for long-term drop-off the second these super seniors finally hang it up. Either way, do not take your eyes off of Lincoln. It's going to be exciting.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $195 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1009974, $195 per month, lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 10,000 due at signing, no security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 8/31/26.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built upon hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with room for advancement.
You plan everything, the schedules, the meals, the activities. But at the Nebraska State Fair, you don't have to plan a thing. Baby animals, fair food, rides, free entertainment, and 11 days of memories your kids will never forget. You just have to show up. It all happens here at the Nebraska State Fair, August 28th through September 7th in Grand Island. Visit statefair.org.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town. Ever look at your house and think, ouch, it's stuck in the past? Or realize that your kitchen needs a new everything? Like thousands of homeowners, you can simply call SprayNet Lincoln. Their patented spray system and paint delivers a flawless factory finish. No mess, done in a day, and cost-effective. It looks just like new, including your vinyl. And it's all backed by their 15-year no-peel warranty. SprayNet Lincoln, custom chemistry and smarter painting. Google SprayNet Lincoln or call them now at 402-383-3336 or email ching@spray-net.com.
Remember your first Salt Dogs game? Maybe it was a class trip out on the berm, or date night with actual fireworks, or team building that didn't feel like work at all. For 25 seasons, Haymarket Park remains Lincoln's place for firsts like these, the kind that last. Because it's more than a baseball game. It's the joy of being here together. These are the traditions that bring us home. So here's to you, Lincoln. Your local tradition plays on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Hey, this is Jay Foreman, the host of Old School here at 93.7 The Ticket. And one of my favorite things to do is come down and meet all the fans before and after as they cheer on our beloved Huskers.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete in Lincoln and Palmyra. Ready Mixed offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply with Ready Mixed Concrete today to be eligible for a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with Ready Mixed Concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Where there's smoke, there's flavor, and there's plenty of that at the Smokehouse at Super Saver in Russ's Market. Award-winning Old World recipes made in Lincoln since 1984 with many flavors in smoked sausage and brats to choose from. The Smokehouse has something special for every season: brats and sausage for the grill, beef sticks and beef jerky for snacking, and smoked salmon, smoked turkey, and smoked hams for your holiday feast. Stop by the Smokehouse at Super Saver in Russ's Market today to fulfill your search for real flavor.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited to bring on our guest at this time. I have been told he is the guy. There's a lot of people who do a really good job, but he is the guy when it comes to covering Nebraska volleyball. He is with Huskers Illustrated, Mr. Lincoln Arneal. How you doing, my friend? Hey, Lincoln, can you hear me?
Yes, I got you.
Hey, man, I appreciate you taking the time, especially to join us every Friday at 1:30. Now, you probably aren't aware of this, but before the break, we played a clip, and essentially, the clip broke down the 5-for-5 rule. And if they choose to do so, Harper Murray, Bergen Riley, Andy Jackson, Laney Choboy can all come back. And the headline of the clip was that the NCAA essentially just handed Nebraska 2 national championships. Now, that can be up for debate, but he laid out at the end of the clip, there's pluses and minuses to this. The potential minus is if you hold on to them for 2 years, that's obviously phenomenal, but what about the people you're recruiting right now or the players who are currently on the roster? Danny Busboom Kelly's never had someone transfer. So talk to us about the pluses and minuses of what could potentially be happening down the road here.
Yeah, I think definitely the plus you kind of touched on there is you have your elite, 3 All-Americans, Laney Choboy, 2-time libero for the Huskers coming back. So just a lot of talent, like bringing back on the team. And like you said, consistency, people who know, and hopefully they're only going to continue to get better and find new ways to improve their game. But the downside is also that. Nebraska is a juggernaut in the recruiting world, and they are bringing in top recruits. They have 5 players signed to next year's class already. But if you bring all 4 of them back, I think they're at 16 right now. So, and the other thing to factor in is something has to give because the roster limit for volleyball is 18. So either everyone can come back and you have to get rid of 3 recruits, or some of the not all 4 can come back. So there's a little bit of a number crunch where it's not as simple as, do they want to come back? Yes, come back, because Nebraska's made promises to these incoming class of 2027 that they can join the team. And so it's a little, the roster management, I think, is a key part, that it's not as simple as, do you want to? Yes, let's make it work. That's the one difference from last time we encountered this after the COVID pandemic, when everyone got an extra year of eligibility.
Like a producer in here for Adam Carriker, is this somewhat of a unique problem that the University of Nebraska has right now? When you look at other rosters and a lot of work that Danny Busboom Kelly and Jalen Reyes have done, putting together really stacked recruiting class. Are there other schools in the Big Ten, or maybe even outside of the Big Ten, that are kind of going through some of the same concerns or risk evaluation?
Yeah, I was at the media days on Monday and asked all the coaches about this, about how they're going to approach building a roster and how they're kind of looking at the 5-for-5 rule. Some of them are taking a more conservative approach with their roster building. Keegan Cook up in Minnesota says they intentionally have some roster spots open left in the 27, 28, 29 years because they might get some athletes back and want to have that comfort zone, whether they're getting players back for 5th year or getting transfers. So I think when you look at places like Wisconsin, probably Penn State, Texas, teams that are the perennial powers in the league that can have their pick of, usually their pick of any recruit in the nation, they're going to be in this pinch as well too. This kind of reminds me of what happened to Ohio State after the pandemic, because they had a really great class of seniors who all could come back, but Jennifer Oldenburg was the coach. She said, no, we promise these recruits we're going to go with them. And then those kind of the seniors spread out amongst the NCAA and had really great seasons. And a lot of them led their new teams to the postseason. So it's not a unique problem, but I think Nebraska maybe has to deal with it on a different level of the level of not only returning athlete, but who they're bringing into the program maybe on a different scale than other programs are dealing with.
Talk to me about, because women's pro volleyball, we got 2 pro teams up in Omaha. And I've mentioned this before. There's not too many cities in America where you have 2 pro teams in the same sport. We're talking like Chicago, the White Sox and the Cubs. We're talking New York, Giants and Jets. We're talking LA. And we're talking Omaha, Nebraska with 2 professional volleyball teams. I don't know if too many people thought about that. But how do you think like Love Volleyball, the Omaha Supernovas, and I think this is year 3, correct me if I'm wrong, that these teams have been around, these leagues have been around, and they're starting to gain a lot of traction. How do you think they factor into the decision-making process for Harper and Bergen and Andy and Laney?
Yeah, I think, year 3 that they've both been in existence. The Supernovas are into their 4th overall year, but it's year 3 of the double up. I think that, it's definitely a consideration too, because when you talk about their earning power, you look at some of the deals that those 4 have. Bergen Riley with Red Bull, Harper Murray has Adidas and Gatorade. Those are national deals that will be there even if they choose to go pro. And I think that they've earned a lot of eyeballs and kind of following that they're probably going to follow them when they go pro. So I think that the pro is becoming more and more enticing because, yes, they'll make a lot of money if they're playing in Nebraska, but a lot of the endorsement deals are outside factors. They're NIL deals, which aren't necessarily tied to them being at Nebraska. They do get a little bit of revenue share and kind of, I think playing Nebraska might raise their profile, but if they're looking towards maybe making that 2028 Olympic team, playing in a professional environment against women who are older than them, women who have played in the Olympics, that may be a more enticing route, especially if they want to play in the Olympics, whether it be 2028 or start playing more national teams. They're kind of, they've proven what they can achieve at the collegiate level too. But when you're going pro, you're playing against 28-year-olds, 34-year-olds, and Jordan Larson, darn near 40-year-old as well too. So I think that's maybe another enticing option, is moving on to that next step and kind of looking what is there beyond just playing in Nebraska, collecting NIL money, and competing for national championships at the collegiate level.
And again, we are here with Lincoln Arneal of Huskers Illustrated. The other thing I wanted to ask you, obviously the Big Ten Conference Tournament caught a lot of buzz down there in Chicago. I believe it was Sheffield, Wisconsin head coach who actually talked about kind of being on both sides at one point, of being against it and eventually kind of accepting it and being for it. For fans that aren't sure what this is going to change when it comes to the regular season scheduling and also what that end product looks like, what does the Big Ten Conference Tournament do that impacts kind of the rest of that regular season?
It makes maybe the Big Ten Conference Championship a little more equitable, because before you would have a 20-game regular season where you'd play every opponent once and then you play 3 different opponents twice. Now you play everyone once, so that you get one shot, home or away, doesn't matter. So maybe you make that Big Ten Conference Championship a little more equitable depending on what gauntlet or what kind of draw you have year to year. So I think that'll impact it too. But it will also set them up for learning that postseason mentality before the NCAA tournament too. You saw this a little bit with the SEC, of that win or go home type of environment, where there's a different pressure when you get into the postseason of like, if we don't win this match, our season's over. So they get to experience that a little bit probably less meaningful stakes, but it's still, if you win the Big Ten title, you have to win or your shot is over. So I think that will really help the teams prepare for the postseason tournament. And you see, I mean, last year was maybe a little bit down year for the Big Ten, but I think the competition level is going to be up, and there's going to be some really good teams that are fighting it out in Fishers, Indiana. So I think it's really going to heighten the opportunity for teams to really go into the the NCAA tournament on a good note with some good momentum. And also the way the schedule's set up, they'll get a few extra days of rest because the tournament ends on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, where in previous years, a lot of them were competing those few extra days before the tournament starts. So a little extra rest right before the tournament is always probably a welcome thing as they're going through the whole grind of the regular season.
When you start to look at some of these preseason volleyball polls that are coming out, the 2026 Big Ten volleyball preseason poll, Nebraska at the top, Wisconsin, Penn State, Purdue, Minnesota. As you start to look at some of the other preseason polls around the country, I'm looking here at the preseason Power 10 rankings on this site. It's Nebraska, then it's Kentucky and Texas and Stanford and Wisconsin. So obviously Nebraska is going to be at the top of a majority of these lists, if not all of these lists, for obvious reasons. Now, these ladies have had great careers. I mean, nobody's going to question that. You know, as freshmen, they played against Texas in the national championship match. They'll get a chance to play Texas early on in the year. This season, in fact, the last time they played them was in that national title match. The next year, they made the Final Four. Last year, to the Elite Eight. And Texas A&M, the eventual national champion, obviously won that day. But talk to me about the impressions you get heading into this season, because the impression I get with what they've got and the talent and the experience and everything they've got is anything less than a national championship probably not what they're looking for. Is that fair to say?
Yes. And we get the official AVCA coaches poll comes out on Monday, so we'll get their perspective on how the teams stack out. But I think yes. I mean, it's unfortunate that it's national championship or bust. I mean, Nebraska lost one match all of last season, and that kind of put a stain on the entire year, which is unfortunate because they did so many amazing things. They dropped one set in the entire Big Ten schedule. They beat, the preseason gauntlet was pretty impressive too. They beat Kentucky, who was the NCAA finalist, and they made Stanford, who was a really good team, look pretty ordinary. They handled Pitt in the opening match too in 4 sets. So I think that's unfortunate that it's kind of the rest of the season is wiped out if they don't perform in December. But I think that they do have a lot of goals too. I mean, this senior class, we talked a lot about them. They want to go 4 for 4 in Big Ten titles, and now I guess they can go 5 for 5 if they get the regular season and the tournament. So I know that they want to do that and kind of put their stamp on team success as well too. But it all comes down to how they're playing in December. Will they make the Final Four? And really kind of will they win a title? Because like you mentioned there, I mean, they've lost in between year, they lost to Penn State in the semifinals. They've lost their season has ended to the eventual national championship the past 3 seasons. So it's not like they're getting upset or losing to a slump team, but they need a little bit more better luck perhaps come December, and they have the talent to definitely be in the conversation and have that chance to play for a national title.
I want to ask you too before we let you go here as we're getting closer to the break. Obviously, there's a lot going on, whether it's preseason, even early into the regular season. Nebraska alone is going to AT&T Stadium. They got Wrigley Field. You got the Big Ten SEC Challenge with multiple universities involved. In regards to that Big Ten SEC Challenge, you have Penn State versus Kentucky at Wrigley Field, which is a whole headline in itself. And then you also have Nebraska versus Missouri. And again, it's important to point out that's does not count against your record game. That game does in fact count. Are you a little bit surprised to see that, considering that the elements kind of up in the air and you are playing in the Windy City? When you're talking about volleyball, a little bit of wind is all it takes to make some significant shifts on how that thing moves.
Oh, yes. That's where I'm surprised Penn State and Kentucky, because those are 2 top 10 teams that are inviting a lot of the elements kind of into playing a factor in that. And so you won't necessarily get to see them maybe play the highest level because the weather is coming into play as well, too. So, I mean, it is kind of playing outside is a little bit different. I mean, the indoor volleyball is lighter than when they play beach volleyball. I mean, that's a heavier ball that can withstand a little bit more wind. So it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out. And I wish that, I mean, I think Nebraska has more talent than Missouri. They should take care of them. But yeah, that's the one regret I have is that Penn State Kentucky matches, we may not get to see a high level of competition that they're capable of just because the elements are involved too. I mean, that's why we keep talking about spreading the game. Let's go to more NBA arenas, or maybe that's why the Cowboys Stadium is kind of nice too, because it's indoors, the weather's controlled. But we'll take it. It's going to be a memorable event for everyone and all the fans over there as well.
What if I shouldn't even. I just like in my mind, being the football guy that I am. What if Nebraska and Missouri are playing and it's like snowing? Like I'm just what if?
Well,
like how crazy would that be?
Yeah, I talked to Grace McNamara, the Big Ten sport administrator. I mean, they do have a committee that will do it. Will take all the factors. They do have a backup plan to go to Wintrust Arena if it gets rained out.
Okay.
The other option they have is to push back till Monday to play. So I hope we're not having. If we're getting snow in early September, there's a lot of things going wrong. But volleyball will probably be lower on the totem pole if we're getting snow in Wrigley Field.
All right, I appreciate you taking the time. I look forward to chatting with you next week. Thank you, Lincoln.
You bet. Thanks, Adam. Have a good one.
All right, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney location. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
A membership with John Henry's will fast-track you to front-of-the-line service, seasonal tune-ups, and far fewer unexpected moments. That means no breakdowns, no waiting on a call, and no nonsense. It's consistent care that prevents small issues from turning into big bills. Join the Comfort Club and get VIP treatment 365 days a year with 24-hour priority response, member-only discounts, and peace of mind on your home's most expensive systems. Call John Henry's.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
And electrical.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete in Lincoln and Palmyra. Ready Mixed offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply with Ready Mixed Concrete today to be eligible for a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with Ready Mixed Concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Remember your first Salt Dogs game? Maybe it was a class trip out on the berm, or date night with actual fireworks, or team building that didn't feel like work at all. For 25 seasons, Haymarket Park remains Lincoln's place for firsts like these, the kind that last. Because it's more than a baseball game. It's the joy of being here together. These are the traditions that bring us home. So here's to you, Lincoln. Your local tradition plays on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Moms already know. It's the one time all summer where everything comes together. The kids are happy. The food is incredible. And somewhere between the birthing pavilion and the drone show, your whole family is together in a way that's hard to find anymore. It all happens here at the Nebraska State Fair, August 28th through September 7th in Grand Island. Visit statefair.org.
Guys, if you're dealing with low back pain or trouble urinating, don't just live with it. These could be signs of treatable conditions. At Advanced Medical Imaging, their interventional radiologists specialize in minimally invasive procedures designed to relieve symptoms and improve your quality of life without major surgery. June is Men's Health Month. Take the step. Call Advanced Medical Imaging today to schedule a consult and find out what AMI can do for you. Ever look at your house and think, ouch, it's stuck in the past? Or realize that your kitchen needs a new everything? Like thousands of homeowners, you can simply call SprayNet Lincoln. Their patented spray system and paint delivers a flawless factory finish. No mess, done in a day, and cost-effective. It looks just like new, including your vinyl. And it's all backed by their 15-year no-peel warranty. SprayNet Lincoln, custom chemistry and smarter painting. Google SprayNet Lincoln or call them now at 402-383-3336 or email ching@spray-net.com.
Hi, Kendall Warnock here, owner of A1 Automotive. If you own a BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, or Mini, you know specialized service matters. Our team uses advanced diagnostic equipment, OE equipment, including factory-level software, to accurately diagnose and repair your vehicle. Dealer-level capabilities with hometown service. A1 Automotive, 1117 L Street. You can call us 402-477-4660.
Building a new home can be a challenge, a lot of big choices. With our Remington homes, we have designed 15 different floor plans that appeal to a wide range of people.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier.
People really enjoy being able to go to our website, which is remingtonlincoln.com, pick a plan, pick a price point, go through and build it yourself. You have a lot of options, whether you want granite, painted trim, wood floors, more stone, all options with our Remington homes. People do not want to be married to their house payment. You're able to get what you really want in a home for a great price with very limited stress. And that's what Remington homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket is Lincoln's home for Kansas City Royals baseball in 2026. Catch all the action as Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and a pitching rotation led by Cole Reagans try to lead the Royals back to the postseason. That's Kansas City Royals baseball all summer long. On the air in Lincoln at 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. Have you ever looked at your house and thought, ouch, it's a bit stuck in the past, or realized that your kitchen needs a new, well, everything? Be like thousands of homeowners and simply call SprayNet Lincoln. Their patented spray system and paint delivers a flawless factory finish, no mess, done in a day, and cost effective. It looks just like new, including your hard-to-do vinyl. Plus, it's all backed by the 15-year no-peel warranty. SprayNet Lincoln, ladies and gentlemen. Custom chemistry and smarter painting. Google SprayNet Lincoln or call or text them now at 402-383-3336. Again, that's 402-383-3336. All right, you got anything off the text line there, Harrison, before we play our last clip?
Yeah, we can get this one from Drumstick chimes in, says, what was the best thing Sue ever taught you in practice?
You do know Sue was like 3 years younger than me, right? Like he was a pop when I was a senior. He was a freshman when I was a senior. So I'm not saying I was better than Sue, but
don't shoot the messenger, man. I'm just reading the text line like you wanted.
But everything he learned from me. I'm just saying I wasn't better, but he learned everything from me. No, yeah, Sue. It was easy to see when I was a senior. It was easy to see what he could become. Now people forget he actually was very raw. Was a soccer, obviously played a lot of soccer. You know, he made an extra point, or was it a field goal for the Lions in the NFL when their kicker got hurt mid-game?
I think an extra point.
Did he miss it or did he make it?
Let me look it up.
The fact that you grab a 320-pound D tackle to do it is impressive enough, whether he made it or not. But he's very raw. And if people recall, his sophomore year got a little bit choppy, and a lot of it choppy, and then he turned into an House of Spears, frickin' Ndamukong Suh. So
he missed it.
He did?
Yeah.
Nobody was ever grabbing me to kick anything. So the fact that they grabbed him out of all the great athletes on a professional football team is impressive enough. No, Sue was a monster, no doubt about that. We got about 4 minutes here. Let's play. And so we played a clip of Rule talking about his podcast a couple days ago. Jake and I did. But he went on another podcast and talked about it again, about his podcast. So go ahead and roll that there, Harrison.
How does doing a show like a House Rules when it comes time to recruit players, it does seem like a unique window into the program. Do things like this come up with the families and with the players? And if so, what was the impact?
Yeah, so that's really the reason we decided to do it. I was recruiting a kid a year ago, and his mom was like, all these coaches keep telling me like, I'm going to help your son become a man. I'm going to help your son do this. She's like, I don't want them to worry about that. Like, that's my job. She's like, but then I started watching at the time, some of our behind the scenes videos that we do. We have some of the best content guys in the world. Steven and Trey are like they just blow my mind with what they can do. And they would show like me talking to the team or me, whatever. And she's like, and then I kept hearing the way you were talking, how you were like talking about being a man, about being a good person and how it relates to football. And she's like, I get it. I would want my son to play for you. And I realized like I spend all my time, like I get on YouTube, I watch like Mike McCarthy's opening talk to his team. Like I want that access so I could be a better coach, then I should give it. And so this year, I mean, right now our recruiting class, I mean, we'll probably have a top 10, top 5 class. I think part of it is like the parents, the friends, the recruit themselves, like they get a chance to be around us. You know, we did house rules to really, you know, highlight our players every week. You know, we had a different segment with them because I want them to build their own brand.
And he said at Big Ten Media Days, it's beyond his control. Like the university paid for the Matt Rule LLC rights. They paid him $5 million, okay, for the rights to it. So they basically dictate whether he's going to do the podcast again this year or not. 2-part question, Harrison. Number 1, do you think he'll do the podcast again this year? And number 2, what's your reaction to what he just said?
No, and I'll be honest.
Okay. Elaborate a little.
Listen, man, I get it, but I'm so tired of this. Well, it's recruiting, blah, blah, blah. And maybe he's got some points to it, and maybe he's not in full control of it. But I always go back to that Indiana was not a brand, was not a brand in any regard, was one of the worst tarnished brands out there when we're talking about college football. Nobody cared about the Hoosiers. Kurt Cignetti did not do a podcast to go get great recruits and flip that program around. Nebraska's already a brand. We don't have to do more to make it. We just have to go win. And that's where I fall, you know, and like, I'm not trying to bash Matt Rule. Like if he didn't have total control of it, okay, fair enough. But you know, it says the University of Nebraska too. Like who's this really for? Is it for the parents? Like, is that how we're going to build ourselves back up? Because again, I look at other programs and when I look at Indiana, there's no part of that was media, podcasting, interviews, McAfee show, none of that. Like, that's not the reason that team turned it around. They turned it around because they won. They have an identity. They know exactly what Kurt Cignetti wants them to do. It's, you know, you don't necessarily need to go do all that extra stuff. I think that stuff is more likely to become a distraction than it is to become an asset. You just need to figure out ways to win. And if you're spending time doing podcasts, again, I'm not saying it's all his fault. Maybe he was told to have to go do those things. You know, it just feels almost like a waste of time to me. Maybe that's too harsh. I'm curious what your thoughts are.
I genuinely did not know what you were going to say, so I appreciate your honest take. I will say this: if you're winning, you don't need to do those things, and if you're losing, they're not going to come across great. And that's kind of the example we saw. I personally never had an issue with it, but I also said every single time, if you don't win, it won't be received well.
Yeah,
it just won't. To your point, Indiana just grabbed a 5-star, the number 1 wide receiver in the entire country in the past week. Made his announcement publicly. So I get it. I have no problem with people trying new things, trying outside of the box things. Remember, Nebraska was the first school to incorporate lifting into their football program when everybody thought it was terrible. And it worked out. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I get it. I appreciate your take. I did not know what you were going to say, but it really all comes down to winning. And if you lose, do you lose, for lack of a better way to say it, respectfully? Like, is it competitive? Are you at least physical, like things of that nature? All right, you got anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I'll say this much too. Like, again, like I'm going to stand by my point, but nobody bats 100 either. So again, like I'm helping Matt Rule just like everybody else. I want to root for Matt Rule. Hopefully the guys get it done. And I'd be surprised if he keeps the podcast coming up this year. So football season's around the corner. We'll see what the results look like when they get there.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Harrison, have a glorious weekend. Go Big Red. And always remember to throw the ball.
Hi, Kendall Warnock here, owner of A1 Automotive. If you own a BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, or Mini,